Hello there, this is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Most attractive women want a man. Now, that might seem obvious, it might seem common sense, but you got a bunch of men walking around here scared, acting like they seeing attractive women instead of just being like, hey, how you doing? They be like, oh, I can't talk to her, she's so attractive. I'm gonna tell you what, when you see an attractive woman, she especially wants a man. And despite what many dudes thinking, with that fake me out, oh, she just wants the top man, the top 1%. No, they just want a man that's good for them. Now, that man might or might not be good for them as far as, might not be that 1% man, that top man. Because first of all, let's talk about that for a second. If you're talking about the 1% men, those are usually upper class men who most of these women aren't going to meet. They're not going to be there. Most women, especially when you talk about social class, is going to deal with the women, would deal with the men in their environment. In fact, some of them might deal with the women, but that's another conversation. Wait a minute, hold on. Most of the women, wherever they live, wherever they at, they might not be around a 1% man. One of the things a man has to do is stop thinking like that attractive woman won't want him. See, first thing, when you're talking about attractive women, they have to work to be attractive. They seriously. Very, very, very few women are just roll out of bed. They don't have to do any work. They don't have to hit the gym. Like one of the many gyms I've been around, like in this area, they had nothing but attractive young women. Nothing but. It was like, wow. They be going hard too. Be ready to cut you if you get on like a Smith machine trying to do some squats or something. Seriously, they would go hard. Be in the gym, start off in the gym. It'd be like 3 o'clock or something, right? You be ready to leave. You come there at 3 o'clock, you working now. You ready to leave about 5 o'clock. Shoot, they just getting started. Shoot, they be working out hard. See, here's the thing. With attractive women, what's the main reason that they working to be attractive? To attract men to them. And remember what I've said too. That man don't necessarily have to be chad or something. As long as he's presentable. Because most women, they want to be the most attractive one. Most women want to be magnetic. Remember, when you talk about women, their main thing is attracting attention. They want to be the center of attention. Now, they still want a man, and all the man has to do is be decent. He can't be some bum or something. And even then, they want that. But they still want a man. When you see these women working out, they running, they hitting the gym, they fixing up, putting on that makeup, fixing their hair, they want a man. And all a man has to do is just understand that. Now, whether or not they want him in particular, it depends on the woman. Because remember, women want different types. But a man won't know that until he makes an attempt to talk to them, makes an approach to them. He won't know what she actually wants. What the type of man she wants. He won't know. He won't find out. Because I've known plenty of attractive women, and the guys that they want will probably surprise a lot of guys. No, it's not always that top guy. In fact, I mentioned that one woman that I went to school with, I was at American with, how she straight up wanted to fuck this guy who would be considered an incel now. She just wanted to get with him. And I know this other woman, I know her right now. She like guys who is not, she doesn't follow the crowd. She likes who she likes. The guys she like would be considered nerdy. See, each attractive woman, they're going to have their own type, their own choice of what they want. See, a man has to just understand one thing. They want a man. And he won't know until he makes an attempt. But see, the problem with many men is they make an assumption. They see the woman, they haven't talked to her, they don't know what the fuck she like. They don't know what she like. Like I remember, and I mentioned a few times, this young lady I worked with on one of my 1,000 jobs. And this guy, she was a young girl. And this guy, he was acting like he was just afraid to talk to her. And she was gorgeous like that. But she was actually that type. She was on some black nationalist stuff. So the type of man that would appeal to her would be the same thing. See, here's the thing. Understand something. Just understand something. That attractive woman wants somebody. It's not always going to be supermodel of the world. It's not always going to be Chad. It's not always going to be that man who's making 6 figures. Because if you actually, any man who actually sits back and actually talks to these women, realize they ordinary. Like I've said several times, it was a very attractive woman. I mean, she in her 50s now, but extremely attractive woman in the 8 to 10 range. She was the one, I remember we went out, she's talking about UFOs and stuff. She into science fiction. She's the one who turned me on to the X-Files. In fact, she had been in a couple science fiction movies, like some bit parts and stuff. But that was her. And shoot, and I remember I learned that back in college. It was a young lady who was real fine. I mean, they were trying to get her on the cheerleading team. They were trying to hit her up. I remember I came in my room one time. She's sitting on my bed chilling, going through my comic books. You don't know. You don't know. But see, the thing is, that woman wants a man. See, whatever you do as a man, and I can't emphasize this enough, don't knock yourself out. Now, if the woman says she don't want you, you shoot your shot, she just don't want you. Okay, she just don't want you. You shot your shot. Because one of the worst things for any man is to think about it. Or put all this stuff in. You don't know what that woman wants until you talk to her. But if that woman is fixing herself up, wearing that dress that's hanging just right, they got this speed thing up here. They don't want anybody speeding through here. Anyway, if a woman is fixing herself up, she fixing her body up, she making sure her face look right, doing all this stuff, sleeping with those masks on, getting her hair fixed. Women doing that, they fixing up because they want to attract a man. I don't give a shit what they say. And even when you get some women who will say, oh no, we just doing it to compete with other women. What they competing for? They competing for the men. They want attention from men. In fact, if a woman, if she walk outside and no man like checks her out during the entire day, she might go to therapy. Indeed, a lot of these women they checking out a therapist because a man ain't checking them out. And all the man has to do, like I say, he just gotta be presentable. He don't have to be like super handsome or making all that money. Shoot, plus you got a lot of women, they making their own money. They ain't a thing. They want a man who's presentable, who can have a good conversation with. Shoot, sometimes it can make a woman's day. You just somebody just say hi to them. even if it's not a guy that they find attractive. Just as long as they get some attention. And like I said, I always say most. Now, real quick, I always say that because there was somebody come on there, why you say most and all that? Dude, it's not every single one. It's not a science. I wish it was a science. There's always going to be an exception because I know a very, very attractive woman who's a lesbian. She's extremely attractive. She don't like guys trying to talk to her. I've met a few pretty lesbians like that. That's why I say most. You don't know. And even that one pretty lesbian, she ended up getting married, got 2 kids now. You know? But you don't know. You're not going to know until you make that move. See, don't put these women on such a pedestal that they don't want you. Now, you should fix up. I'm saying the word you should fix up. You should fix up to your best. Now, and even when you like put all that stuff in there, like if you don't have that square jaw, you don't know what that woman like. Or you're not 6'2", you don't know what that woman like. The bottom line is you don't know. The only thing in most of these attractive women, they want some guy to holler at. They want something. They are not walking out with like these spandex pants, shorts with their butts hanging out and all of that. When they trying to draw attention, only thing is whether they trying to draw your attention, but you're not going to know. And a lot of times if you just friendly to them, you just be like, hey, how you doing? Now, if they don't say anything, okay, fine. She don't want you in particular, but she wants a man. But see, as I keep saying, a lot of men, they messing themselves up. They're messing themselves up. Because you still got to talk to them, man. Of course, you get some guys saying they looking for choosing signals, but I'm going to tell you something with women. If you get choosing signals, fine, but you can get some women, they never give you some choosing signals. Now, even though I even talked about that in my book, Nice Guys and Players, that a woman chooses, that's not always she give you signals. Some will give you signals, some will just walk. I remember, and I learned that back in college. I remember there was this young lady, I mean, she was fine. And I didn't think she had any interest in me. She wouldn't look at me. Until one day I got to talk to her, and then she got extremely friendly. I was like, and I'm thinking to myself, damn, I could have been hollered at her. Sometimes you just got to shoot that shot. And they even said it in my book, Nice Guys and Players. Shoot that shot anyway. And shoot, I tell you some other stuff going further sexually if you check out my Patreon. And let me just say something real quick. There's a lot of people who hit the free part on the Patreon. I don't know what good that's doing you. What good is that doing you? I only did one post on my free part, and that was telling you need to check out the rest. All right. So if you're gonna check it out, check it out. Check it out at the highest level. I get into it deeper. And also, if you hit me up privately, I'll hit you up with some deeper stuff too. So on Patreon. Anyway, most of these women, if they working on being attractive, they want a man. But don't put yourself down thinking, oh, she wouldn't want me. You don't know what the fuck she want. Like I've said several times, I knew this 5'9" model who had a guy who was 5'2". That's what she wants. You don't know. You don't know until you make that attempt. Now, the best you can do for yourself, as I always say, just fix yourself up. Engage in body game. Get your best body. Get your best look. Develop your style. You'll get something. Because you don't have to be, especially some guys out here be talking about they want those 8 to 10s and stuff. Well, other than them being rare, they especially want somebody to talk to them. In fact, I mentioned yesterday There was a woman at a gym who looked like a real life Barbie. And I mean, we were just cool because I had just sold a membership to like her office. And she was extremely friendly to me because nobody else was talking to her. See, that's something else too. The more attractive a woman is, sometimes they just want somebody just to talk to them. I remember back when I was at American, there was a real attractive Hispanic woman, real attractive. And I remember I saw her walking, so I gave her a ride up to campus. And reason why she was walking, because of how one of the bus drivers, shuttle drivers up there was acting towards her. And she was pissed. And I never forget, I was just being cool. I wasn't trying to holler at her or anything like that. I remember she grabbed my hand and just held it and was just smiling. Because I was just being cool with it, you know? At the time, I was kind of involved with someone else, but we won't get into that. But I was just being cool, especially a real attractive women. One thing I found with them is a lot of times guys be acting so stupid that they respond to just a decent guy, just being friendly. Shoot, that's why sometimes you might see like one of those super attractive women with an average looking guy. The average looking guy had some balls on him. He just talked to her. Because when you get those very attractive women, one thing about them, they don't even have a lot of girlfriends. Seriously. You get those very attractive women a lot of times because other women are very competitive with each other. So a lot of women don't like being around a woman who's going to draw more attention or who's finer than them. Because their competition is within their body builds. Their body builds how they look. So women always compete. So when you get those very attractive women, extremely attractive women, they might not have too many girlfriends. And a lot of guys act like they're scared to talk to them. And they are responsive to a man who's not scared of them. In fact, I've had a couple of women, very attractive women, say, "Ron, you don't act like you scared of me." I'm like, and you know, it's a funny reason why. Well, like I said, my cousin's very attractive. Mother was a paid model in the 1950s. Grandmother, even in her 60s, looked like she could go for 30. So, man, they were in my family. It was like, whatever. You know? So when I'm around a beautiful woman, it was like whatever. And really, if you just talk to them, find out. Like I even talk about it in my book, Meeting Attractive Women. And you know, it's real quick. You know, regardless of what they look like, they still got stuff they're interested in. It's like that young lady who I said introduced me to the X-Files and was big on science fiction. She was big on UFOs. I mean, me and her were on a date. She talking about UFOs. But if you looked at her, you would think, oh, no, she get that rich guy or something. No, don't make any assumptions. You don't know. Talk to him. In fact, talk to them. You might not want them. Or something. Because there's been a couple women very attractive. Man, they were just boring to me. So you need to talk to them to find out if you even want them. But they still want a man. These women want a man. In fact, one of those very attractive women, she hit me up. This is when I was at a fashion show. And I was had a few books out. Had the earliest version of my book, Nice Guys and Players. It was actually started out as a pamphlet called The Nice Guy's Guide to Meeting Beautiful Women. Something like that. I don't even remember the title now. But she actually got that and then got my card. She actually called me up. She called me. And some other stuff too. But she called me. So, you know, I was just being cool. Like, one of the things, the main thing to be with a beautiful woman is just be cool with them. Don't put them on a pedestal. They still fight like you do. That fight like you do. They bleed. Shoot, I know one. Shoot, I used to give her a breath mint because she said that's a bad breath. But I'm gonna tell you what, they still human though, whatever the case, and they still want a man. They still want a man, regardless. Oh man, I always gotta straighten this up. Like, no matter what, they still want a man. It's like, as a man, you don't be afraid. If you think she fine, you know, she got the nice face card. She got the nice breastises. Here it come you. She got the snatch waist, the nice butt dunk. And she got the thick thighs, which save lives. Shoot. She still want whatever. She's still human. And that's all you had to realize. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to deal with. Right? She still want whatever. And they still want a man. And once you understand that, shoot, it's the thing. Because I'm going to tell you a big problem with a lot of men out here. A very big, it's a big problem. It's a big issue. A lot of men don't really understand that these women, they still want a man. They still want to have sex and stuff. See, a lot of men, they get rejected. Because even when I've talked about that before, men would say, oh, no, they don't. They say, no, maybe that particular one didn't want you. These women want to fuck out here. These women want to meet a man. They still want to go out. I don't care what they look like. And you don't know. Don't make any assumptions. You don't know what that particular woman wants. Like I said, this swan, I always talk about this swan. I got to tell her and stuff next time I talk to her. I always use her as an example. Very beautiful. Just got engaged. But she was a swan. She wasn't looking like that when she was young. You don't know anything about her. Go for it anyway. Go for it. In fact, yeah, she's always super friendly to me. Super friendly. Look, you just don't know. So you got to go for it. So anyway, though, that's all I got for now. You know, I don't do these car videos on the weekend. You know, check out my Sovereign Man videos and my inspirational stuff. Check out my stuff. I mean, really do check out my stuff on weekends because, you know, you get some guys, they like, oh, I don't care about these women. Okay, whatever. All right. But you do want to be sovereign. You do want to have some control. And then my Sunday videos, I always remember, I was going to stop doing them a few years ago, but these twins that I met at a self-improvement summit, shout out C Boogie, they said I really helped them out with something on one of my videos. So I'll just keep it going. All right. So anyway, though, y'all have a good weekend, and I'll get back with y'all next week. At least the car videos. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all. Peace.